Okay, so the next suggestion we've got in terms of some research and inquiry could begin with a target in relation perhaps to something that's come up at the start of CP2. It could be CP1, but we're looking here at targets that come up possibly in relation to subject pedagogy around the CP2 time, when they're in the pedagogy phase, linking back to the Dan Davis article that we talked about earlier on. So they've got a target. Let's say, for example, it's a drama student and you want them, or they've tried to engage in something very subject specific, such as teacher in role. And as the drama practitioners out there will know, this actually takes quite a lot of expertise, lots of time, a lot of thought in order for it to land and be used effectively in the classroom with the learners. So off the back of that target, you could prescribe for your student teacher to go off and do some reading, some really focused reading around that issue or that particular target. It would be up to them to take the lead on that. You might be able to recommend some sources, but if you can't, that's no problem. They can look via MetSearch. They can maybe go to us as university tutors, approach us for some recommendations and engage using their research and inquiry time in some deep reading around that target.
And it's probably worth mentioning that it's completely okay to expect your student who has the time and space that you don't have to go out and read, and who are supposed to go out and read, to bring you back that good stuff, to bring you back a digest of all the best bits that they've found, not to keep it to themselves. So if you are a member of staff who hasn't had a lot of time to do a lot of reading recently, this could be a really good opportunity for you to get a shortcut to get some new information. So you could expect the student to sit down with you, having done that specific reading, and to have a really in-depth learning conversation with you about what they found out. Now, what they found out in those books and in those articles is going to be general. It's not necessarily going to be completely relevant to your context. And so what you bring to the party as the mentor here is the ability in that conversation with the student to place what they've read in the context of your school, your local context, and your subject, and the way that it's taught in your department, so that the student then gets a very specific idea of how that's applicable in the place where they're teaching.
And of course, then the next logical step would be for your student teacher to plan and deliver a lesson whereby they work on said target and try to convert theory into practice, trying some stuff out, which could result in a very focused observation from you where you're simply focusing on that target. It might be in the blue book, so you're really trying to refrain from commenting on anything peripheral there. You're just focusing on that particular aspect that they're working on so that they can get some really precise feedback on that area. And then, of course, that could lead on to a reflective entry on one of our reflective models on PLP based on that whole cycle.